Hey, in this video, I'd like to talk to the moms who are feeling overwhelmed. And you're probably thinking, Vanessa, what mom is that who does not feel overwhelmed? And I hear you. There's a lot to be um, flustered about. There is the climate of this culture, the climate, um, what's going on with us personally, our emotions, our relationship dynamics, be it with our spouses, be it with our children, be it with ourselves. Like what's going on in our hearts, what's going on in our minds, how are we feeling, how are we doing, do we even know, are we taking the time to ask those questions? And then we're overwhelmed looking at our kiddos. We're looking at um, what they're dealing with, the things they're exposed to, complicated relationship dynamics that they're experiencing at younger and younger ages that some, well, maybe many of us feel are out of our hands. We can't seem to get a grasp on it, can't seem to reel it in for them, can't seem to protect them. And so we're afraid for them, and how will they turn out, and what jobs will they have, and what will the world be like by the time they're adults and starting their own families. There's a lot that overwhelms us. And so I just wanted to have a heart to heart about that. Um, yeah, it's a lot going on. And the tendency, the temptation, um, if you're already overwhelmed, you just want it to stop, right? You just want a break. You're like, get me off the ride. And the temptation, the tendency is maybe if I lean into things, maybe if I do more, allow more, give more, then some of these things will quiet down, settle down, shake themselves out, and just give me a minute. That's not how it goes though. What's better to happen when you are feeling overwhelmed is to reel things in. The overwhelm is because things have probably gotten out of control, and feeding that monster is not going to help. We need to reel things in so that we can have at least peace within ourselves. Because, when they say if mama's not happy, nobody's happy, we say that jokingly, but it's true. It is true. Because whether we like it or not, mama is running the show at home. Um, I love my husband, great father. But when it comes down to it, those kids are looking for me. When they have a question, whether college, wherever they are, they're calling me. They're here at the house calling me. They're at high school calling me. They want their mom for whatever it is. It's mom first. Maybe mom always. Maybe mom only. And when mom has a lot of other things on her mind, has her own things on her mind, has her own career on her mind, has her own what's next for me, I'm 50 on her mind. She has things on her mind. You have them, I have them. And yeah, if we're not good, nobody else is going to be good. Because if I'm laid out somewhere having a nervous breakdown when everybody comes looking for me because they need something from mom, wait, where's mom? Why is mom laid out? Why is mom stressed out? And the reason is because mom didn't give these jokers boundaries. Mom just kept giving more and more and more and more and more. When mom should have dialed some things back and said, wait a minute, this is not working for me. This is not working for me. Let me tell you a story about Candy. Candy is a lady. I paint my own nails usually, but here and there, because self care is a thing that must be prioritized. We can talk about self care another time because I don't just mean nails and things. I mean there's other ways to care for yourself as a mom. But anyway, I digress. I went to get my nails done at a place here near my home, and this time a lady named Candy helped me. And you know how you do, you're going to get your nails done, you have put in your earbuds and you are scrolling, you're doing the things, but you're not really typically talking with your nail tech. And it was the same this instance. I think I had just one earbud in because I wanted to be able to hear if she asked me a question. And we are close to the end of the process. And then she starts asking me questions. And she asked me um, if I have a daughter. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, how's your relationship with your daughter? And I said, it's good now. It's good now. I hope it stays that way. I think at the time my daughter was 12. She was close to turning 13. And, I was just approaching it like that, wondering what's going to happen to her when she turns 13, and am I going to lose this girl that I really kind of dig right now. But so I said that to her, and she said, that's really good. That's nice. I I don't I don't have my daughter. I don't. And there was a language thing, but basically she was saying she didn't have a good relationship with her daughter. It had become quite stressful and constantly tense. She was overwhelmed. And this woman, Candy, was battling her second bout of cancer. And she was saying how I loved how self aware she was, because she was saying how earlier on, especially when she first got the diagnosis, your world is rocked. I don't know. And it was a nasty cancer. It's one that doesn't have a high cure rate. And I think the mentality was, I don't know how much time I have left. And so I just want to indulge her. I just want to enjoy my daughter. I want to do all the things. I want everything to be smooth. I want, if this is it for me, I want us to go out on a high note. These are the real things and issues that you will think of. And fear, fear is a beast. Fear had his way with Candy. And what she had now discovered is that she created a monster. Now, in her second bout of cancer, she found herself with a very entitled daughter, very demanding, very uh, non compassionate, very self absorbed, a teenager, but like amped up, right? Because I described the teenager, but this was like next level. This is your mom is battling cancer, and you're still talking about I want and give me, and so has, so why can't I have all the things? And I listened to Candy, and my heart was breaking for her because I totally saw how she got there. It makes complete sense. But then she surprised me. She had a mask on, and so then she sat up and paused, and she said, and I told her, no, you're not getting that, and no, I don't owe you that, and no, and she just started telling me all the things. She started checking her daughter about, because Candy realized, look, I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my life. And in her own broken English, she was saying to me, I'm fighting to be here because she needs me. My daughter needs me, even though she acts like she doesn't, and I'm just here to give her whatever she wants. She needs me. And she talked about her struggle to like that girl, to like that girl who had become so heartless toward her mom. I mean, talk about overwhelmed. You got the normal overwhelm. She was talking to me about how She's concerned about her daughter's friends and how they're influencing her and how all of these things she's wanting, she never wanted until she made these friends. But she feels um, if she doesn't cater to her spending time with these friends, that the friends and the friends' mothers will think ill of her. Okay, so she has that we're all always considering or fighting to not consider. I'm in the I will not consider that camp of what other children's mothers think of me because of the standards or parameters I give my own children. But it's a real thing. It's not easy. It's not easy to stand by yourself, stand on the island by yourself. And Candy is trying to stand on this island while she's fighting for her life. And so I just listened. I listened. I encouraged her just a little bit. I wanted her to do all the talking because it seemed like she needed to get that out. And just even getting that out took some of the overwhelm away. I could tell she was smiling behind that mask. She thanked me for listening. I encouraged her that she was doing right by herself and that in doing right by herself, she is teaching her daughter. We're always teaching them. We're teaching them even in the things that we say yes to when we shouldn't be saying yes to. We're teaching them to do that. We're teaching them to overextend themselves. I mean, parenting is hard enough. Don't make it harder. Don't make it harder by indulging children on a whim because you want to be liked. You're in the business of loving your children. You're not in the business of being liked by them. They may like you later on once they figure out that what you did was for their best. They may like you then. They don't need to like you now. They don't need to like you. You need to like you. And you need to like you by prioritizing your mental health, your physical health, by honoring your bandwidth, honoring your design, your makeup. Sure, there's a place for extending yourself because motherhood is about sacrifice. From the beginning, you sacrifice your body, to bring a person into the world. So the whole tone of motherhood is from jump. You understand it's about sacrifice. Okay, so we do that. Sacrifice is par for the course. But this whole thing where we just fall on our sword daily and we sign up for things that later on bite us in the behind because we didn't think that thing through. We just wanted them to shut up. We wanted them to be quiet. We wanted them to get off our backs. And so we commit to things that later on we realize I don't want to still keep doing this. Why did I do this to myself? You did it to yourself because you didn't tell that child to go sit down. When they came harping about what they need, you didn't say, I'll get back to you on that. Did you know you could do that? Did you know you could say, I'll get back to you on that? Oh no, but mom, I need to know now. I need to know now because the people and they and that and I will get back to you on that. My children have heard it's really my daughter because my sons boys are not really in a rush to do a whole lot of things for the most part, at least not my boys. But this girl I have, everything is an emergency. Everything is right now. Everything is a need to know. The people need to know. The people, including you, are going to wait because it's too much. It's too much noise. There's too much noise in life. And nobody's going to turn down that noise for you. You have to turn it down yourself. And in this domain, in the Queen's domain, I get to turn it down, right? What does my daughter love to hear me say? Lack of preparation on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. You and your girlfriend's last minute bright ideas, that's wonderful. I love it. I love the communication. I love the planning. I love all those skills. And sometimes you have to wait for the answer because I need to figure out not only what's best for me, but what's best for all of y'all who are always coming to me because mom is the one who's organizing, who knows everybody's schedule, who knows all the things, who knows what everybody needs, blah, blah, blah. It takes bandwidth for that. And you do yourself a service when you take the time to say, hey, you can wait. And don't even get me started on the no. I'll do a whole other video on the beautiful power, the wonderful power of no. It'll bless your entire life. We talk about no as a sentence for everybody else. No is a whole sentence for your child, but I will save that for another time. I'm just now talking about wait. Wait until I wrap my mind around it. Wait until I figure some things out. Wait until I check my calendar. You have to wait. Because what's not going to happen is I say yes to you, then I find out I already have two other things I'm agreed to. And now I'm running up and down to accommodate everyone because I didn't take the time to honor myself and say, hey, okay, wait, I've checked. Not today. Nobody is going to slow this train down for you. This world is getting faster and faster. The cost of living has gotten higher and higher, and there are decisions that need to be made. You cannot just keep going the way it's always been and crossing your fingers hoping it'll all work out. There are decisions that need to be made, lines to be drawn in the sand, and it's up to you to do it. I wish it was easier. I wish motherhood wasn't so hard. I wish you could do it without being the bad guy. I wish you could do it and your kids get it and they agree and they think you're the best and go and tell their friends how awesome you are. I wish it could be that way, but it's not. It's not. It takes a willingness to do what is best at the expense of being liked. You have enough friends that like you. And if you don't, that's another thing we talk about, working on getting some friends that can fill your cup in that way. It's not for your children to do it. They do not need to like you. You need to love them. And part of loving them is wait. Part of loving them is not now, maybe later. That's all part of it. And part of it is teaching them how to treat you. That's what Candy figured out. She was so concerned about, um, I'll die soon and she won't have me. And here she is. She had survived one, lived long enough to have this recurrence, but she realized if I do die soon, what have I put into this girl? How have I set her up? What have I taught her is important? What kind of outlook have I taught her to have concern for other people, an accurate understanding of herself, and that she's not more important than other people, to consider others, even sometimes before herself. Her mother was in need of compassion, and this girl wasn't even capable of giving it. And her mother realized that she fed into that. And I just applauded her for turning that ship around. So maybe you have been a overindulgent mom and now you find yourself overwhelmed. It's not too late to turn that ship around. It'll be shocking. The first time you're like, wait a minute, I'll get back to you on that. When heretofore it had always been, yes, 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 I'll make it work. Yes, 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 I'll make it work. I was watching uh, Architectural Digest the other day, looking at Jimmy Butler, a professional basketball player's home, designed by Tiffany Brooks Interiors. She's awesome. And I was really seeing it. It's not because I follow Jimmy. It's because I follow Tiffany Brooks Interiors, and so I wanted to see how she designed his home. But he said something that that look I had on my face. That's the look I had when he said it. And he said, "We need to admit, parents need to admit that we are our children's bees." I'm not gonna say the word, but you know what I mean. We are our children's bees. They tell us what to do, and we do whatever they tell us. Sir, I, I am no one's bee, and I'm certainly not my child's bee. I'm certainly not. I am a stay at home mom. It has been my pleasure and my honor to love and care for them, to provide for them, to feed them, to bless them in a multitude of ways. And it has been at my discretion. Everything I've done has been at my discretion. I'm not run by my children. I raise my children. I raise them with love. I raise them with integrity. I raise them with intention. And that includes, his example was his, they had steaks and all kind of things for this dinner. And the child was like, no, I don't want that. I want spaghetti. Now, look, wisdom would have said to me that this 2 year old baby, or however old she is, wasn't going to be eating steak. So I would have had spaghetti for her anyway. But the general notion that I'm having different things for different children because they don't and they want, no, ma'am, that's overwhelming your life. You need to dial that back. We're not having, it's 5 of us in my family. We're not having 5 separate dinners. Who's doing that? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You don't have a food allergy. I understand the food preference, but you don't have a food allergy. I prefer a lot of things. I prefer fine dining. But on a daily, we're going to have our dining. You're going to have what I prepared. And what I have prepared, that I've purchased and cooked with love, is what's on the menu. Now, you can have as much of it or as little of it as you would like, but that's what you're going to have. Child, I am no one's bee. Neither are you. So I just wanted to come on here and encourage you with that. Um, yeah, motherhood is hard enough. Do not make it harder. Don't do it. Bless your life, establish boundaries, stick to them. You'll hear all of the "you're so ridiculous. Why are you like this?" I'm like this because I'm great, and it'll bless you. Just hang on. You'll see how it'll bless you. But I don't need my children to validate what's going on here. It's for me to be on my post, to observe what's going on in my household, to tweak things as necessary, including tweaking them so that the woman that everyone relies on is still mentally sound, is still loving and able to be there for the people who are counting on her. I want you to do the same for yourself. So, listen, until next time, please remember, when it comes to you being the mother of your children, girl, you are the woman for the job. Take care.